Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be going over the topic of murder. So murder is on section B of the first paper, so that is the crime section, and it can only come up in a problem question, so there's no evaluation to worry about here. In this video I'll be going over the actus reus elements and the mens rea elements, so let's get into it. So what really is murder? So murder is a common law offence defined by a 17th century judge, Lord Coke, as the unlawful killing of a reasonable person in being under the king's peace with malice aforethought, express or implied. In that definition, we have both the actus reus elements and the mens rea elements. So the actus reus elements would be the unlawful killing of a reasonable person in being under the king's peace, and the mens rea elements would be with malice aforethought, express or implied. So let's start with the actus reus. So as I said previously, there are 4 sections to the actus reus of murder, which is the defendant killed a reasonable creature in being under the king's peace and that killing was unlawful. So let's start with the first, which is the defendant killed. So the killing can be an act or omission, but either way it must be the cause of death. A good case for this is R.V. Gibbons and Proctor, which is when a couple starved a 7-year-old to death. That would be an omission, as they forgot to give her food, so they omitted feeding her. However, there may be other causes to the death, like adding on to the death, which it can be poor medical treatment, for example, but that is covered in the topic of causation, which I will not be going over in this video today. The second element is a reasonable creature in being, and that is basically defined as a human. However, the Attorney General's reference, number 3 of 1994, says that an injured fetus that is born alive but dies afterwards from the injuries can have the actus reus of either murder or manslaughter. There's also some uncertainty on brain dead, and it is widely regarded that to be a reasonable creature in being, you must have a working brainstem. So this means that doctors can turn off life support of people who are brain dead without having the fear of being held liable for murder. And a good case for that is R.V. Steele. However, there is a year and a day rule, which means there is no limit on the death after the act. But if there is a 3-year gap between the unlawful act and the death, there must be a consult with the Attorney General on the prosecution. The third element is under the king's peace, which is very simple to sum up, and that is the idea that killing an enemy in war is not murder. However, if the defendant killed a prisoner of war, that does have the actus reus of murder. And for the final element, which is the killing must be unlawful, this can easily be defined as all killings are unlawful unless it is in self-defence, defence of another, or to prevent crime with the reasonable force for the circumstances. So the mens rea of murder is malice aforethought, express or implied. So the phrase express or implied suggests that there are 2 intentions, to kill or to cause grievous bodily harm. So if the defendant has one of these intentions, they are guilty. They can also be guilty if they did not intend to kill, which is shown in the case of R.V. Vickers. Intention to cause grievous bodily harm is sufficient mens rea, which is shown in the case of Cunningham. And in the case of DPP v. Smith, grievous bodily harm was defined as really serious harm. So that is the crime of murder pretty much summed up in a short video. I try not to make these videos really long because I know there is so much content over the spec to learn, and I find personally watching a short summary video can really help me remember things such as key information. As I said before, I'm not doing causation in this video, but this may be a video I do in the future if I remember to. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this helped, and I'll see you next time.